Hello, it's me, Cyrus. Welcome back to anyone who's still out there. It's day 57 of the end of the world, and I'm still alive. Had a depressing week, let me tell you. Using the notes that I took this week, both audio and written, I'm going to describe it to you. As always, I try to broadcast where I am on all frequencies that I can, in hopes, find someone. This week was probably the worst. Here's why. So, I've started a few different projects to keep myself occupied. I decided that the water that I have accumulated so far isn't going to last forever. The different bottles and whatnot that I've got, even though it's a lot. So I've created a rain collection system, using very specifically the building's gutters, some large 55-gallon drums that I've found and cleaned out, and a filtration system that I built into the gutters right before the drums so that the water can stay relatively debris-free and clean. I'm going to have to keep my eye out on the gutters, though, just to make sure that they don't get filled, so that's something I haven't had to do in years, is clean gutters. So I also put a few of the books I have lying around to work, one of them on construction and another one on gardening. I built some planters out of lumber that I found, and I placed them in the empty parking lot. I've never gardened before. My family hunted rather than gardened. We did other things as well, but never really gardened. But I've found some seeds in this half-looted gardening store. So for now I have some cucumbers, tomatoes, and some potatoes that I'm actually using from my pantry that I cut in half and planted. So that should hopefully double those. I continue to loot the area as well and get through a couple of different neighborhoods. There were things that I found throughout what I can only call as the dead zone. Found lots of notes left behind, different stories of people, those who died throughout, and stories that I can make based off of surroundings and those sorts of things that you look at and you can tell this is what happened. When I was out gathering, I gathered a couple stories that I found from those who didn't survive. I'm going to read them to you, relay them to you. First one I found was the final writings of a dying man. Here it is. My name is William Mueller. I'm 40 years old and I am dying. I was bitten 3 days ago and the fever has set in. I'm burning up and yet so cold at the same time. It's lucky that I don't have too much food and water. Last things I have are a bottle of Johnny Walker I was saving for a special occasion, and my snub-nosed .38 I kept for 20 years without firing. Guess there's no time like the present for a drink. If you find this note, drink one for me, will you? Do better than I could. Don't get bit. Keep going and see it through. Found beside him half a bottle of whiskey and a gun with 4 rounds and one singular empty brass. I buried him in his yard and had a drink for him. later found another one. This one was probably more sad, even. Disgusting. The scene was indescribable. I'll try my best, though. It was a partially burnt house. I entered it, and the smell of the crisp, burnt, that fiery smell filled my nose. I searched the house, what bits of it weren't totally burnt, and eventually came across a bedroom. God, I wish I hadn't gone into that bedroom. I could tell that this was where the fire was set. In the bed there were 3 bodies, but I could only assume were the bodies of a mother and 2 children. On the wall above them was the only thing in the room that wasn't burnt was a message scrawled in blood. It said, "God forgive us." The foot of the bed was the body of a man who I have to assume was the father. I assume what happened was he killed them out of the fear of his inability to protect them. I only say that he was the one that killed them because, well, they were handcuffed on the bed. God, that's enough of those stories. I need to start writing my own stories again and read more. Hopefully that will get me to feel better. I've been outside for too long. I've seen enough for a lifetime of nightmares. Hopefully I can feel better if I just focus on some things that I like. Novels. I have plenty of paper that I can use to start writing again. Maybe I could try and write the novel I was going to write before the whole thing started. That'd be something, wouldn't it? There's no one around to buy it, though. I never fully said what exactly I write. I told you about my sort of career as a novelist, but I never really got into the meat of it. God, I can't think about meat. Sad thing is I'm a fiction author by trade. I've written a couple of books, some horror, some more fantasy-based, but overall all fiction. None of them can compare to the actual story happening outside right now. If I were to open one of the copies of the books that I've written, it wouldn't compare to the horrors that are outside. I look at the bodies laying around me and think. I do that a lot. I think. I don't pray. I don't beg. I just think. When I was first going away for my camping trip, I needed to get away to get fresh ideas. I wanted to write possibly another horror book, or maybe something in the realm of fantasy, or maybe just some fiction novel. That's why I chose the woods. The woods always calmed me growing up. I was able to pretend and do loads of things up in the woods. But the woods I went to had an air of mystery about them. I spent about a couple weeks up there taking notes, pictures that I'll never be able to really look at again unless I find a way to charge my camera. Hopefully I could do that. Those sorts of things for inspiration. Maybe I can do that. I haven't written a book by hand in a long time. Mainly wrote things on my computer, which I've been trying to get back to running again, but it's just so heavy on the batteries. I'm also trying to figure out a way to generate more power so that I can maybe broadcast more often. Maybe play myself some music or something else to keep myself occupied. I think about the stories around me, those things that I see, the things that I do. And I'm not saying that I'm doing bad things, because I don't think I'm doing bad things. I don't know what these people are, what sort of possible, I guess you could say, lore, mythology, whatever was correct when it came to zombies. I wasn't here when the world fell, so I don't know how it happened. And I've not really found any clues. So there's a strange mystery about the whole thing. Maybe I could focus on that. Write a novel on how the world fell, or how I think it fell, along with any of the notes I've taken, things I've learned how to do since the fall. That might help me. That's not the word for it. Cataloging, I suppose, would be the word for it. Cataloging everything I've done from the beginning. Figuring out what exactly I need to do to survive and what I need to do to thrive, which I suppose are much different things nowadays. Surviving is just being able to wake up in the morning. Thriving, I suppose, is eating 3 meals a day and having clean water and someone to talk to. I don't have anyone to talk to, unless someone's out there. God, I hope someone's out there. If you're not, I don't know what I'll do if I somehow learn that I'm the last one. I should get back to my books, my safe havens, the little worlds within the confines of pages. Maybe that's what I'll do for the next couple days. Just read the mountains of books that I have. Maybe I can get lost in the world of the Shire, or at Hogwarts, some magical place far away from here that isn't nightmarish every single day. I have no idea when the next broadcast will be, but good luck to you all. If you are listening, know that you are not alone. I am here. I am waiting. There is food, water, shelter, safety, and company. Again, my location will play as much as I can as long as the batteries hold out. Until next time.